Hey everybody, good afternoon. What's up? It has been a little while since I've done one of those long videos. I'll try not to be long, but I'm long-winded already because sometimes, many times I have a lot of things to say because my mission is growth, development, edifying, encouraging, motivating, showing all the love, everything that you can think of. And first and foremost, we have to give God thanks that he has blessed us with life more abundantly, health, strength, wealth, and a very cognitive mind that's coherent. When we have all of these things, we have to give God thanks, because without him none of these things would have been possible. Many times persons get up and they think that, oh, I just got up like that, and they just forget to give God thanks. Once you're up, it's another day to make that specific day to be better and better and better. Because remember, right now you're not at the best you. Each day you try to make you better, and that can only be done through God. So we have to give him thanks for life, for health, and for strength. If you're not well, you just have to trust him, believe in him, that whatever is happening to you, it is all for his glory. All right? And if it is for you to get well, you will get well. If not, in that ill moment, it still will give him glory, and it still will allow you to become a better individual. All right? So keep that faith, keep that trust, keep that thanks going. Now, one of the encouraging words I've been hearing of late: if you want to be wise, you must walk with wise people. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the foolish man builds his house upon the sand. So it is impossible for you to garner and to allow wisdom to become a part of you when you walk with foolish people. Notice I didn't say a fool. The only time I call somebody a fool is if he says there is no God. Because even the Bible advocates that. So only the fool says there is no God. So if it is that you want wisdom to be a part of who you are, if you want to be considered a wise man or a wise woman, it is imperative that you walk with wise people. It is imperative that the things that you do, the things that you intake, that becomes a part of you, must be things of wisdom. No, we're not perfect. There are times where we need a little gimmick and a little joke and a little things here, and that's fine, because we're all human beings. But I'm talking about feeding your mind, feeding your heart, feeding your soul with things that are wise, prudent. You understand? Those are the things that is important. It's just like if you're going to live a healthy lifestyle in terms of your diet. I'm not saying that you might not eat some ice cream here and there, some pizza here and there, some KFC burger here and there, but the majority of your daily intake would be things that have all the vitamins and all the minerals, if it is that you're trying to achieve good health, strength, and longevity of life. It's the same way that if it is that, because remember, we're not only dealing with the physical being, because everything is interconnected, your spiritual being and your physical being. Because if your spiritual being weak, it will affect your physical. If your mental being is weak, it's going to affect the physical and the spiritual, and the emotional and the psychological, because they're all interconnected, they're all intertwined. One is not devoid of the other. So you're not wise in one area and foolish in another area. And I'm not saying this in the sense of imperfection. I've often said this in my videos. We're all imperfect. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a consistency in the things that we do, the things that we say, and the things that we allow to become a part of us. So you cannot achieve and attain wisdom when you walk with persons who are gossips, who are slanderers, who, when you try to engage even in a 10-minute conversation with them, that 10-minute conversation is telling you about this person that they don't like. If you saw what Mary Jane wore today, if you saw what Tom Jones did today, and all of that. And then so therefore, if it is that you engage with persons who are more gossips, slanderers and the conversations that you have really does not edify the entire interlocking beings mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, then it means therefore you have forgotten, or there is a misunderstanding of when it says to become wise, you have to walk with wise people. And that word wisdom is a very deep meaning, because I am not talking about saying to someone, you know, if you go down that area where a lot of lions are, you're going to get bitten. We're not talking about shallow wisdom like that. We're talking about wisdom in that allows you to become the full, to unlock your full potential, your full God-given potential of becoming the human being that is a world changer. And when I say a world changer, I'm not talking about you have to necessarily become a Martin Luther King or I don't remember the name of that lady there, Mother Teresa, Rosa Parks, or whatever it is. You can be, who knows, we never know. But what I'm talking about is that your wisdom must be seen within, and others that you come across must be able to say, there goes a wise woman, there goes a wise man. So I'm not talking about a frivolous sense of wisdom to say to me that if you go down that particular area, gunmen will hold you up. I'm not talking about that. Yes, that is necessary. That's a wise comment. But I'm talking about your very being, your lifestyle must exude wisdom. And when I speak of wisdom, I'm talking about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and executing all of that. Because for me, you know, I don't want somebody to come and tell me that somebody's brilliant and it's a very brilliant person, and that brilliant person keeps all the knowledge, keeps all the wisdom. For me, not bright, because I don't see you executing that. I don't see where a lot of persons are benefiting, or persons benefiting from your so-called wisdom, brilliance, and all the knowledge that you have in the world. It is the execution of that knowledge, that understanding of the knowledge, and that understanding of the knowledge brings about wisdom. The wisdom in your finances, the wisdom in your spirituality, the wisdom in how you're dealing with people. You understand? The wisdom of your entire lifestyle. But that can only be achieved when you walk with persons who mirror what the scripture says. You know, study to show yourself approved. Think on things that are lovely, just, honest, of a good report. Exalting somebody else before you. Loving Jesus, loving God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Helping somebody without complaining and murmuring. Speak well of others. Think highly of yourself, not being pompous. Not being pompous, but think highly of yourself. Know that the Lord that you serve, he said that you are princes, princesses, kings, you are queens, you are highly favored, you are blessed, you are bold, you are confident, you are creative, you are talented, you are gifted. Those are the things that God speaks on, as well as others, many other things, when he's speaking about wisdom. Understanding the things to do and the things not to do. Simple. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. There are times you will slip, yes. But we're talking about a lifestyle, a practice, consistency. That is how those persons that we consider as brilliant people, Einstein, it was a matter of repeatability. Whatever it is that they portrayed, whatever it is that the results that they had given, it was consistent. And that is how they became the brilliant men and women of that era. And whoever we consider the brilliant men of this era, it is a matter of consistency, repeatability. It was lifestyle. It was a daily culture. Culture, we say, it's a way of life. It was their day. It was their culture, their way of life. It is impossible to become an eagle when you hang around chickens. When you sit and you think of the kinds of conversations, just do a little introspection right now, or retrospection, and think on the maybe your associates, your friends, your families, and think on the average conversations that you have. How edifying is a conversation? Is it gossiping? Is it slandering? Is it murmuring? Is it complaining? Have you ever been around somebody who complains a lot and murmurs? always have something negative to say about somebody else. Always somebody's doing something to them. Always a victim story, hard luck story. Always somebody doing them this. Always somebody doing them. Hey, have you ever been around them kind of people? After a while, I didn't realize how when it's highlighted to you, after a while you say to yourself, am I going to be subjected to this for the next hour or two? Because for some reason, the people that tend to be very long-winded, because they can tell you everything from them at 2, or from them a baby, from them in their mother's womb, come right up to when them whatever age they are. And let me tell you, you can have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and supper, go your bed, wake up, and the conversation is still going on. And let me highlight this. I am not for one saying that if you're going through issues, if you're going through any kind of challenges, that you don't speak on it. I'm not frivolous. I am not somebody who is aloof or above or not understanding of the human being. As a matter of fact, for those who may know me intimately, I am somebody who is a little bit maybe too emotional, more than the norm, if anything. But what I'm simply saying to you is that you often hear the saying that says practice becomes perfect. I heard a motivational speaker was saying that it's foolish to say perfect because we're not perfect beings. But I understand what they're saying. It makes you become better. So in spite of the different challenges that you go through, that you face daily, whatever your challenge may be, it has nothing to do with your color, your class, your creed, your status. We face challenges. I'm speaking to you now, I have my own challenges. But I've made a concerted effort, and it doesn't mean that I will always follow it every single day. The days mega slip, come in name human being. But I have put myself in a regime, in a mode where I decide to myself that challenges are going to always be here. It's my choice, my God-given choice, if I'm going to allow the challenge to become me, or I decide to control. There's a scripture that says the spirit is subject to the prophet, meaning sometimes you hear of people getting into spirit and shaking up and behaving a certain way. The human being can control behaving that way. In other words, if you want to keep still and not say a word, you can. You're not forced or thrusted to behave that way. And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just simply making a point that you can decide if you're going to allow your challenges to control you, or you control your challenges. And oftentimes, and I didn't think on it until I heard Les Brown say this, he said, instead of saying, boy, I'm having a bad day, say I'm having a character building day. And he's absolutely right. We are having a character building day. So if it is that you say, God, help me to be humble, Lord, help me to be loving, help me to be patient, help me to be kind, to be gentle, to be meek, mild, all of these things, the so-called bad days that you're talking about really is character building day. So sometimes we admire a lot of persons, especially older persons. We see them and we say, wow, what a wonderful woman, or what a wonderful. Have you ever come across those persons? I have. That's how they say like that. I'm telling you that it didn't just come overnight. So all the so-called bad experiences was really a character building experience, so that you can become the better you every day. So that you can become the world changer that you want to be, or community changer, or your own family changer. You can't change overnight, it's God, but you know what I'm talking about. The influence that you have because of the wisdom that was placed upon you. But in order for all of this to happen, it is a fact that birds of a feather flock together. It's not just a cliche. We have heard that from when we were young. Birds of a feather flock together. It is impossible for you to garner and to become a part of wisdom and its contents and hang around chickens, hang around gossips, hang around our gossipers, or hang around slanderers, or hang around persons who create factions, dissensions, create some kind of disunity, discord among your very own brothers and sisters and friends. It's impossible. It's virtually impossible. It is virtually impossible for you to live a healthy lifestyle and eat burgers for breakfast, French fries for lunch, ice cream for dinner. It is impossible. So in order for you to understand truly the contents of wisdom, it is compelled, let me use those strong words, for you to walk with wise people. People of integrity. There is no two-way around it. The conversations that you have should be seasoned with salt. It can't be seasoned with MSG. I expect if it come out, like this grand, wonderful or brilliant individual that you desire to become, or the world changer that you desire to become, or the community changer, or change. When I say changer, not you that changes the people, that God, but through you. When they see the lifestyle that you live, then they will become better people. They will want to say, I love how Mary Jane is. I like her attitude. I like her behavior. And this will be evident when you go through your challenges, your character building moments. How do you treat your own co-workers? How do you treat your own family members? How do you treat the persons that you encounter on a daily basis? What are the kinds of conversations that you have frequently? What are the kinds of books you read? You know what I'm saying? The movies that you watch. Me not tell you lie. Me love some kind of movies still, you know. Me love movie bad, high action movie and all of that. But what I try to do, as much as I'm able to do, is read very good books, solid books. Not just like Nancy Drew, Hiram Scaram books. I'm talking about books that will build me as a human being. To help me to be financially prudent. To help me to be spiritually wise. To help me to know how to make sure I eat healthily. Me sleep, you know. No matter feel, me not perfect, you know. Me not a perfect being. Me just try my best to say, as best as I'm able to live a good life. That can only be done through God. Nobody feels I'm not perfect, none at all. I often tell people, it wasn't for God, maybe would be the worst man upon this planet. I kid you not. I probably would be the worst person on this planet. But I endeavor to become the best human I can be every single day. You're gonna have low days. That's part of life. You understand what I'm saying? But I endeavor as a consistent practice to allow in my space wisdom, the bitter medicine. Because sometimes people feel say, yes, I want to become wise. Sometimes if you are, whatever you ask for, be prepared for the processes of it. Because it's not necessarily going to come in the way that you want it. Because it's also a part of the character building moment. It is like the refiner's fire, purifying gold. So it is pushed into that lava looking fire or fire. If there are elements that need to come off, it's going to be pushed back in it. That is how you become wise. But you have to allow the refiner to burn it. To burn the elements that need to come off of you, the foolish elements. So that when your house is being built, it is being cemented, dug deep upon a rock. So therefore, you cannot attain wisdom walking with chickens. Walking with gossipers, walking with slanderers. And incidentally, what you don't know is this, or maybe you know, but let me kind of refresh your memory. If somebody gossips with you about somebody else, slanders you with somebody else, they're going to slander you with another person. Because it has become habitual. It's a practice. It is who they are. It's a lifestyle that they know. Remember, it's a way of life. It's a culture. At the moment an adverse situation arise between you and that individual, believe you me, you're going to hear all of the things them couldn't stand with you, couldn't take with you, couldn't deal with you and all of that. But you won't hear it from them directly, you know. You're going to hear it from about 100 persons. Maybe when they turn on CVM, TVJ or cable, you'll hear it. So think carefully on the things that you do. Think carefully on the things that you say to others, about others, that you do to others. So if it is, my people, my friends, that you want to attain wisdom, to attain the contents of wisdom, to allow it to become a part of your being. Because remember, it's an interlocking thing we're looking at, you know. Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, even educationally. It's just like if you want to become a bright person, you read books that we consider in our time, from even then, wise books, the relevant books. the better books to use. It's the very same way, and that is how you get your first degree, your master's, and your PhD. You know read Nancy Drew book and get your PhD. It not gonna work. You probably could even present your dissertation before the board. That allows you to get your sorry about that, people. Your PhD. Alright? You can't read a little Nancy Drew book or the comic strip, or whatever you want to call it. You better read the relevant books and understand the relevant books and be able to interpret it. It has to become a part of you. Because when you're presenting your dissertation, they need to understand that that thing is a part of your well-being. You have that symbiotic relationship with whatever it is that you're studying. You can't just go and say A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. They want you to give them the history behind the A, B, C, D and the understanding of why C never come before A. Or F never come before A. So my people, it is impossible for you to attain wisdom, to attain the contents of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and walk around with chickens, and walk around with murderers, and walk around with gossipers, slanderers, people who want to create discord and disunity and revel in it. You can't attain the best that life has to offer and hang around people who just are waste people. I don't really like all people waste people. And when I say waste people, I'm not hitting at how you are made. I'm talking about the mentality of the individual and their decision in not changing. Misery loves company. You understand? Sometimes you're around some persons and they're only comfortable, the only time you hear them speak is if it's about talking negatively about somebody else, or just being lazy, not wanting to do anything, complaining, murmuring, begging. And I'm not once saying that you don't ask for things that you need, but I'm talking about it's just a lifestyle of going nowhere. So that decision, that choice is all up to you, because no one can force you to do it. Remember, God has given us volition. He has given us choices. So you can make that decision today, the kinds of persons that you want to surround yourself with. Only you can make that decision in terms of the kinds of persons that you want to become a frequent flyer with you. Only you can make that decision. You see, true, me want to be a lion and an eagle. Me I seek out those kinds of persons. It doesn't mean that I'm going to ostracize and never speak to the chicken them, but my conversations with them should be limited. My conversations with them should be limited. And as best as I'm able to, try to influence them in becoming eagles. And everybody have a change. And that's just the reality of life. But I must be able to, if it is that I say I want to attain growth, achieve development, progress, prosperity, we have been hearing those words a lot, then it means that I need to walk with wise people. That's the only way I can become wise. I have to surround myself with wisdom and the contents of wisdom, knowledge and understanding of it, so that I can execute it as best as I'm able to, so that each day I can become better and better and better, so that I can become the world changer I desire to be, or community changer that I desire to be, or if it's in my little circle, changer that I desire to be. I was listening to Les Brown recently, because I listen to different, solid motivational speakers. And he was talking about, being someone of significance. You have persons in life, like he gave an example of somebody who died, and 6 months later, like somebody didn't sit there and say, where is so-and-so? Yeah, I didn't know that they died, really. Because of I don't want to say that somebody's insignificant, but the life was just maybe coming to work, going home, maybe 1 or 2 times going somewhere, nobody just really knew of you or knowing what you have done, what kind of contribution you have made. And not everybody's going to be, as I said, the Rosa Parks, the Mother Teresas, the Martin Luther Kings, and Nelson Mandelas, and more. You have other persons. Not everyone, I can understand that, but I'm talking about in the circle that you're in. I use the word change. Are you a world changer in the circle that you're in? That it don't take 6 months for somebody to say, oh, I don't see Mary Jane or Tom Jones. The very second they don't see you, they must say, oh my God, where is Mary Jane? Where is Tom Jones? Right? And then God forbid, or if it's your time to go, that when they speak of you, they must be able to sincerely say, there goes a woman who was a world changer. There goes a man who was a world changer. A godly man, a godly woman. Somebody of substance and significance, a wise man and a wise woman. When you lack wisdom, knowledge, understanding, you lack vision. You lack vision. And it's the worst thing to be almost be inculcated with persons who lack vision. It's like a nomad. It's like you're going nowhere, a hamster in a hamster's wheel. I implore you, for those of you who may be listening to what I'm saying to you, to attain wisdom and its contents, knowledge, understanding, you have to. It is a must. It is almost, when we say compulsory, for you to walk with wise people. For you to walk with people of integrity. For you to walk with people who are looking to be world changers, who are looking for growth, looking for development, looking for prosperity, progress, everything that you can think of that is positive. It is not devoid of any form of challenges or character building moments. But I'm talking about consistency. And that's the only way for you to achieve your wisdom. Alright? So my beautiful people, my handsome men, my beautiful women, have a wonderful day. I'm encouraging you, walk with wise people to attain wisdom and its contents. Have a great day.